Okay, I'm going to attempt to help you with your homework. However, I'm at home in my kid's very dirty room and trying to hide from them, so just bear with me. So this first question, which we did do in class, says that Tina runs 6 1/4 miles each day for track practice. Select all. So I'm trying to hold the camera and do this. Fun. All right, select all the distance measurements that could represent the distance that Tina runs. So it is a select all, so I kind of want to look at my units of measurement. I see that the answer is going to be in terms of feet, yards, and inches. When I am doing my conversions, I want to convert from my largest and gradually work my way up to my smallest. So I am starting at miles, and I have 6 1/4 miles, and I'm going to go ahead. If you're looking at your reference sheet, you find miles, you'll go straight across and see that your miles to yards is your next largest. And you will also see that there is 1,760 yards in each mile. And again, you don't need to memorize that. You will have your reference sheet when you're doing your assessment. So 1,760, and that is going to be multiplied by 6 miles. And I'm also going to take that number and multiply it by the 1/4 of a mile. Now, I'm going to go over to the side here to multiply this out because I have no clue what that is. That's going to take a little bit of work. I should have brought scrap paper, but I dare not go out into my hallway because a child is definitely going to find me. Okay, so first I'm going to multiply it by the 6 miles. So 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus the 3 is going to be 45. And then 6 times 1 plus 4 more is going to give you 10. Now that 10,560 is not my final answer because I still need to do the 1/4 of a yard, but I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. 10,560, and now I can see that I have done my 6th, and I'm going to move on to my 4th. So find 4th of a number, I want you to think about your reciprocal. So I can actually change this to division, and the reciprocal of 1/4 is 4 whole. So I'm going to do 1,760 divided by 4 whole. Again, I'm going to go to the side so that I have room to work it out. 1,760 divided by 4. I know that 4 can go into 17 4 times because 4 times 4 is 16. When I subtract that, I have 1 left over, which is fine. It's less than my divisor. And I'm going to drop down my 6 and regroup. Now I have 16 divided by 4, which again is going to go in 4 times. And again, I'm going to subtract 16. Now I have nothing left over. I still have a digit in my ones place that I need to bring down, and I need to make sure that when I'm answering that I actually represent that ones place, showing that 0 can go into 4 0 times. So 1/4 of 1,760 is 440. So I'm just going to carry it over here, and what I'm going to end up doing is joining together these two partial products. Now some friends have a difficult time adding this way, so I'm going to take these two numbers again going over to the side, and I'm just going to join them together over here. So again, 0 times 0, or 0 plus 0. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 5 more is 10. So drop my 0, regroup my 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, and then drop down that last 1. So I get 11,000 yards when I add up these two partial products for my 6 miles and my 1/4 miles. So there is my first unit, and I'm going to go over here. I do want to make note that if you would have stopped and just did the 10,560 for your 6 miles, you would have had a distractor. So I'm going to go ahead and cross it out. I know that 11,000 is my answer, and I'm not going to have 2 units of yards. There's only one that's going to work. Now, again, you're going to look at your reference sheet, and you're going to travel it up to the next largest unit, inches or feet, and the next one you will see is feet. And again, I'm going from yards to feet. So in looking at your reference sheet, you will see that there are 3 yards in each, there are 3 feet in each yard. And I'm going to multiply my basic fact first and then drop down those zeros. So 3 times 11 is 33. And now I just drop down those zeros. So now I have my next answer, 33,000 feet. And again, I'm going to cross out the other one. So now I'm only looking at inches. If you look at your reference sheet, I am in feet. And now I'm going from feet to inches, again, bigger to smaller, so I'm multiplying this whole thing through, which I should have put there. And again, I'm going to just multiply my basic numbers and then I'll drop down those zeros. So I'm doing 33 times 12. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Drop down my 0, showing that I'm now looking at my tens place. 1 times 3 was 3. 1 times 3 is 3. When I add those up, I get 6, 9, and 3. And again, take all those zeros down to your answer. You have now 396,000 inches. So I have that as choice F, and I'm good to go there. Let's go next door. Next door, Carla is a professional dog walker. She walks the dog 5 8/10 miles. She has already walked the dog 4,567 yards. How many more yards does Carla have to walk? Now, when I'm looking for those operation words to box, how many more is telling me to subtract. So I know that she's already walked, that she has to walk a total of 5 8/10 miles, and I know that she's already walked 4,567 yards. And again, we just decided that we're going to subtract to find out how many more. Now, what I should notice is that I can't subtract unlike units, so I need to convert so I have like units. In this instance, I'm going to take my miles into yards because my answer is in terms of yards. So I have 5 8/10 miles, and I'm going into yards. So 5 8/10 miles is equal to some amount of yards. When I'm going from miles to yards, miles is my bigger, so best soccer mom, I'm multiplying once again. Now with this, I need to go to my reference sheet. I have 5 8/10 miles, and I'm going to take it into yards. And again, you'll see miles to yards is going to give you 1,760 yards in each mile. So again, I'm just going to multiply it through. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 6 is 48, divided by 4. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 4 more is 60. And then 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6 more is 14. That's my first partial product, so now I'm going to move on to my next place value. So drop down your 0, showing that now I'm in my tens place, because again, think powers of 10. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30, and I'm going to regroup that 3. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 3 more is 38. Just making sure my place values are lined up, and then carry my 3 over. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8 again. When I join together those partial products, I have 0, 8, 0, 12, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is going to give me 10. So I get this lovely number here, and a lot of people are going to go right there, and they're going to have their first sort of answer. What I want to remind you is not to forget to place your decimal. So here, this has 0 digits after, so 10 to the power of 0. This has 1 digit after, so 10 to the power of 1. 0 and 1, that means that my final answer needs to have a digit after the decimal. It needs to have 1 digit. Because that will come out as a whole number, you could drop it and you would get 10,208. But I'm going to go back. I have not answered what the question is asking me. I haven't even performed this operation yet. I need to figure out how many more yards. So I'm actually going to take my conversion now, 5 8/10 miles. We said that that's equivalent to 10,208, which there's your distractor. That's not going to work. 10,208. And I'm going to subtract now the 4,567 that she's already walked. Now, just a little note here, I know that I had only 10 and I'm subtracting 4, so 26 is going to be way too high. So I'm just going to go through it and subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. 0 minus 6 I cannot do, so the 2 is going to become a 1, and my 0 will now be a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. And now I'm in that same situation again. I cannot do 1 minus 5. So since I cannot, I'm going to take this 10 and make it a 9. And turn this 1 into an 11. And 11 minus 5 is going to give you a 6. And 9 minus 4 is going to give you a 5. So now I have an answer of 5,641 yards. That's the unit I converted to. You have your choice answer of A. let's look at your next one. And don't forget that if you know something, you can just fast forward through. If you needed to see something again, just stop and rewind back to it. So this is 7 1/8 gallons. And I'm going to take it and convert it into all possible units. So cups, quarts, pints. And that looks like my choices, cups, quarts, and pints. Now again, you're going to start at your larger unit and you're going to convert up until you get to your smallest. So I have 7 1/8 gallons, and if I look across on my reference sheet, I can go first from gallons to quarts. And on your reference sheet, it does tell you that 1 gallon has 4 quarts. So in order to find out how many quarts are in 7 1/8, I'm going to take that 7 1/8, I'm going to quarts here. I'm going to take that 7 1/8 and multiply it by 4, because again, your reference sheet tells you there are 4 quarts in each gallon. So 7 gallons times 4 quarts in each, and 1/8 gallons times 4 quarts in each. So quickly you can identify that 7 times 4 is 28. And then hopefully when you see here, this is where people mess up, but don't forget it's your whole number times your numerator. And your denominator is going to stay the same. Well, I don't see anything with 4/8, so I need to figure out what is the equivalent. And 4/8 is actually equal to 1/2. So this piece is 28.5 quarts as that part of my answer. So I'm going to come over here, quarts. Oh, there's we go. And go down. Oh, that's not right, so cross that one out. And now I'm going to move on. Okay, so I'm at quarts now, and I'm going to take it now from quarts to pints. So you go one step up on your reference sheet and you will be at pints, which is telling you to multiply by 2. So I'm going to take the 28 quarts and multiply it by 2 pints in each. And I'm going to take my 1/2 quart and multiply it by 2 pints in each. So 28 times 2, I know that 2 times 8 is 16, and regroup my 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5, so I get 56 for that piece of it. But I also need to not neglect my fraction, so 1/2 times 2, again, whole number times your numerator. Your denominator stays the same, you'll get 2 over 2. Hopefully you understand that when your numerator and denominator are the same, it's equivalent to 1 whole. So 56 plus 1 means I am now at 57 pints we converted to. Okay, so 57 pints is right here, which means this other one here is not correct. This one you would have got if you would have kept the 56 and for whatever reason thought 1/8 because you started with 1/8 up there. I don't know. Now, the last unit I see I need to go to is cups. I'm in pints and I take one step up and I'm going to convert to cups. So you will see that 1 pint equals 2 cups. So again, I'm going to be multiplying this number times 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Regroup my 1. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1 more is 11. So now I have 114 cups. That answer is here. And that one is not correct. Now, I just want to caution you that you do not want to always assume that you are going to have all 3 units. If the answer is not there, then the answer is not there. They can always trick you. This is the last thing that I'm going to do on this video. We'll do the other side on a separate video. Miss Stetz is making 5 quarts. I know that these are all of her ingredients. And I know that my answer needs to be in terms of pints. I need to find that missing ingredient. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out 5 quarts is equivalent to how many pints. Look at your reference sheet and you're going to find quarts to pints. So quarts is your bigger unit. So Best Soccer Mom is going to be telling me that I'm multiplying. And when you look at your reference sheet and you go across from quarts to pints, it will tell you to multiply by 2. So 5 times 2 means he has a total of 10, or she has a total of 10 pints. That's going to be the total of all 4. So now I'm going to see what I already have to work with. Well, first of all, 12 ounces. When I find ounces on my reference sheet, I'm actually seeing them starting with smaller, and I'm going to convert across.